few more things here. We'll get started in just a minute. So settle in, make sure you get snacks if you'd like. Can you hear? So I know some people are still showing up. We're just going to accept that they're coming in as they do. We have a really big agenda this evening, so we're just going to get started right away. Thank you all for showing up tonight and for being able to be here and speak to and vote for what matters most to you in Windham right now. So just to get started, my name is Danny Parkins. I'm from the Vermont Council on Rural Development. I'm here with, which is a neutral, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization. We don't have an agenda. We're here to help you guys determine what's best for your community. We only work where we are invited by the select board, which we were here as well. And I'm here with the VCRD staff of Jessica Savage right here. We've got Alyssa Johnson over here, and where's Denise? Oh, Denise is downstairs greeting people at the door. Denise Smith, our executive director, is here as well. And we have our resource team that's here in the back. You can just raise your hand and wave a little bit. They'll be working with us later tonight, and they get to listen in for this first section when we do the voting. So VCRD has done community prioritization processes for over 30 years and worked in more than 90 Vermont communities. This meeting is an important opportunity for you all to weigh in on the specific priorities that are most important right now for the future of Windham. Based on what you all decide, we will then dive into the work, creating task forces, and action plans. The mic messed me up here. And action planning with resource experts. These are the resource team we were just talking about. That will be the second half. And this whole process is about community expertise and wisdom. You know what is best for Windham, we don't. And so we're here to listen to what you guys think is most important. And on that front, I would actually like to invite Michael up to say a few words. And did I miss anything, guys?
No, you got it. And Cord, you're welcome to join us.
Yes, Michael and Cord, please.
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I'm happy to see your faces in the audience. I think we're at a pivotal moment in our town's history with the acquisition of the school building and the acquisition of the talc mine. We are right at the cusp of potential greatness, and it gives us a real opportunity to grow and expand, not just physically, but also culturally and as a community. Thanks.
I missed the first session, so I apologize for that, but it looks like there's some exciting ideas up here, and they all look positive to me, which is a big deal, given some of the circumstances we've had in town lately. So I really appreciate the fact that everybody's coming out, and I appreciate the VCRD and Kathy Fales, who I don't see, oh, there she is, for setting this all up. So it's wonderful. Thanks for everybody. Or thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael and Cord. Like Danny said, my name's Jessica Savage. You're going to see me a lot up here this evening, so get used to this, okay? We have a packed agenda. It's going to be really action-oriented. That's why we fed you first. Please make sure you take care of yourselves tonight, so if you need to stand up, you need to grab some snacks, make sure you do that. So how did we get here tonight with all these lovely ideas around the room? This started, I don't know, last fall maybe, with a conversation with your select board. They invited us to work with the town of Windham. Once invited by a select board, we work for the entire community. So we work for everybody in this community, everybody who cares about Windham, who wants to be involved in your future. After that, we set up the timing for when this would happen, and we knew it was going to happen in the spring and summer. It was a little later than we thought, but in May, we pulled together a planning committee. So residents of Windham who represent different ages and stages of living here in their lives, different experiences, different perspectives. And we said, what should we call this process? And they named it What's Possible Windham. So you're asking yourself that question throughout this process. They gave us ideas for forum topics. What should we talk about with your friends and neighbors? What do you think is important for people right now to be weighing in on? And they also thought about how could we make sure everybody in town was invited to be part of this process and felt invited to be part of this process. And they've done an excellent job of doing a bunch of outreach around the community. I hope everybody has seen the What's Possible Windham sign, been invited, had a phone call, and felt like your voice really mattered in this process, because that's what we've seen work in the over 90 communities, is when people show up for their community, anything is possible. So that's how we got here tonight. We met in June, on June 17th. We had forum discussions and a dinner with music. We asked people to talk about all different topics, do a big brainstorming session. The planning committee also felt like it was important for Windham residents to engage in a visioning exercise, so we started that at the last meeting, and we're going to conclude it tonight. And then after that meeting, we've been working really hard to take all the pages and pages of notes. Hundreds of ideas were surfaced in June, as well as in an online and paper survey. We went through all of those notes, and we said, okay, what are people saying? What do they want to see happen here in Windham now? What's most actionable? And we applied our 30 years of experience to these ideas and said, what would make sense to put together in an idea? So these are the headings of the ideas, but what are the ideas that could be taken on by a committee, a group of people, something that's actionable but not too big, that has like resources, that really could work for a town like Windham to take on and move forward. So we come to you tonight with all these ideas. What we're going to do tonight, after I finish this part, is we're going to review the points of vision from the last meeting, and you're going to decide which ones make sense to you. Then we're going to read through all of the ideas. Again, these are the headlines, but there's a lot to each of these ideas. And if you need a packet of materials, please raise your hand, and Alyssa will come around and give you an agenda, points of vision. There's somebody in the back there, I think, who needs one. And all the ideas and opportunities so that we can all understand them. We'll go through that, make sure, did we get anything wrong? If you weren't at the last meeting and you have an idea that you don't see on the wall that you think is important to add, we'll give you a chance to do that as well. Then we're going to do what we call a gut check vote, this round one voting. We're going to give you 8 blue sticky dots, and you're going to get to vote on the ideas that you want to talk more about, ideas that you think are important to champion, to discuss, together as a community. And that's going to be a bulk of this first part of our evening together, is really hearing from each other about what you think is most important for your neighbors to vote for and to take on right now here in Windham. Then we'll do another round of voting. You'll only get 2 dots in that round, and you'll get down to the top 2 priorities. We feel like with the community the size of Windham, 2 committees taking on 2 big ideas is the right size. But don't worry, nothing is lost, right? So all of these ideas on that list will be included in a report. So nothing is lost in this process, right? Once you have those 2 big ideas voted on, we'll split up, we'll have the first meeting of those committees tonight. Usually we do this a month separated, but with the timing and the size of this community, we felt like, let's pack it all in and do a 2-step process. So again, it's gonna be fast. You'll have your first meeting tonight. Please sign up to join one of the task forces. If you want to go to one but you're still interested in the other, you can sign up for both, that's fine. And then the second part of the evening is going to be at that first meeting. You're going to brainstorm all the things that that group could do. You're going to prioritize the first 5 things that that group should do. And you'll have a resource team there who are going to give you some ideas about how you could do those ideas. What funding you might seek, what technical assistance you might look for, what partners you might seek, what other communities have done something similar that you could get connected with. So by the end of tonight, you'll have 2 big ideas and an action plan with resources for those ideas moving ahead. We'll come back a month after this with a final report. There's some examples on the back table there if you want to see what that looks like. As well as we're going to connect with those task forces with additional resources and our staff support so that what you decide on has navigation support. We're not going to just say, good luck. We're going to be here as your forever friend so that as you move forward on these ideas, you have our support as well as the support of the visiting team and the resource team that's here tonight. People are paying attention to what you're deciding tonight, so I just want you to know that. You're not alone. There's lots of people who are really interested in the answer to the question you're asking yourselves, what's possible, Windham? Does everybody understand what we're going to do tonight? One thing you should note, if we lose some time here, I will get you out. We will get out at 8:30. One thing you should also know is if you can get to those top 2 ideas, you are rewarded with ice cream. So we'll have some ice cream as you transition into those 2 task forces. All right, did I miss anything, Danny?
No, I don't think so. And
Okay.
thanks for picking up on we have worked in 90 communities doing this, so yeah, it's very cool. And we've seen this process work really well in a lot of communities that have been very successful at running with their task forces to achieve the priorities that they selected. And so I'm really hopeful and excited for what Windham is able to do and to see what's possible for Windham tonight. Starting with that, let's jump into these points of vision. You'll see you have a piece of paper, it's got highlights at the top, yellow highlights. This is the one we're looking at. What we're going to do right now, we're just going to take a few minutes to just silently read those to yourself, and you can check off the boxes for any one of those points of vision that you think fits for you, for the town of Windham. The local, that's not it. Yeah, so the local planning committee thought it would be helpful for Windham to do some big picture visioning and kind of ask directly, what does the future of Windham look and feel like for you? If you were here at the first meeting in June, you may have participated in this, and we've taken those ideas and kind of sharpened them up and made them really look and sound like action, like vision statements, but holding to the essence of what was right there when we were collecting these to begin with. Yeah, so afterwards, VCRD staff did consolidate these vision statements for you to vote on today. This is your chance to vote for the ones that feel right for you, and the ideas that receive the most votes will be included in the final report as a list of shared points of vision. You can turn to that for inspiration and guidance for yourself and others as you work on your task forces. For the sake of time, like I said, we're going to be reading these silently. You can be doing that now. And then, like I said, you can check all the boxes you agree with. Don't check any boxes that have vision ideas that don't sit right with you. And with that, you can turn your surveys into the box. Where is that? Back where Alyssa is. She's raising her hand. So at any point in the evening, when you have a moment to step up, or when we're making a transition, put your completed surveys in there, and we will be sure to include that in the reports once we've tallied up all of the votes on the vision. Any questions about that? Okay, did I miss anything, Jess?
Nope, just that you can, even if it's a very similar vision statement, they're all welcome, right? If you agree with it, check all the boxes, or any that don't sit right with you, just don't. You don't have to check those. I'm just reiterating what you said.
Okay, so I'm just going to give a few minutes there for you guys to do that without me chattering in the background.
To upgrade next time. It's the first time that I love it. Perfect. Thank you so much. Right in front again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be back. No rush.
When you're done, if you could just look up, then we'll know that you've completed this portion of our evening.
Okay, so I know that's really quick, but for the sake of the time we have today, that's what we can do. If you still are holding on to that or thinking about things a little bit more, you can always drop it in the box later. And for anyone that's walking in or that didn't have a chance to look through their vision statement, you can fill it out. It should be in the paperwork that's Alyssa has right here. And you can still include that this evening after you fill it out. We're going to move right into the next section. It's the meat and potatoes of the evening. We're going to review all of these action ideas that we have on the wall. We've found at VCRD that reviewing these works best by reading out loud the descriptions for each of these. And to just kind of give you an idea, These action ideas, there are 16 of them on the wall today. There were hundreds when we started, and we've had to consolidate and synthesize all of the different action ideas that we've collected in the June forums into these 16 larger themed buckets or ideas. And the reason we do that is we try and create an idea or a priority that seems like it's doable for the task force within a town, but also is very connected and tied to the action ideas that were surrounding that topic. Yeah. There were also online and print surveys, I just want to mention. Those were collected and incorporated into this as well. And we find it most effective, like I said, to read out loud. I'd like you all to just kind of note the language at the top of the ideas list. I'm going to actually read it out loud myself, just to kick things off. This is a list of ideas for potential action that the VCRD visiting team heard from Windham community members through community forums and online or print surveys. It is not endorsed as a platform by VCRD or by the community. Instead, it is a set of ideas for review and prioritization at the What's Possible Windham Community and Resource Meeting on July 24th. So this is something to kind of keep in mind as we move into this next step. Now, let me just see. Yeah, so Jess over here has an extra mic, and we do want to use the mics, one for the live stream here, and two, just to make sure that everyone can hear these ideas as we read them out. I'm just going to ask for anyone in the room that would like to read some of these descriptions to just raise your hand. We're going to read two at a time so that we can move through these quickly. You don't have to like the idea to read what it is. We just would like to make sure everyone has an opportunity to really speak to those things and hear from the community what is in each of these ideas. You'll likely hear some of the other action ideas and things that were spoken of in the June forums as we go through these descriptions. Any questions? Okay, who wants to read the first two? Thank you, Michael.
Expand community activities and events. Residents expressed interest in holding more community events to connect with one another. A group could form to support existing events and create new ones, such as a Windham Community Day or Windham Fair, sports and recreation activities, concerts, music lessons, winter activities like a lighted tractor parade, potlucks, art shows, and lessons, movie nights, holiday events, dances, farmers markets, and more. Reimagine the school building. A group could work with the select board to explore what the next phase of the school building looks like. Some of the many ideas include a coffee shop, after-school or educational programs, and community events such as lectures, performances, and other programs. This group could look into the feasibility of renovating and maintaining the building to bring in businesses, programs, events, and other ways for it to serve as a community space.
Thank you, Michael. And just to orient everyone in the room, these ideas are ordered up here in the same order they're on your sheet. So we just did, expand community activities and events over here, followed by reimagine the school building here. Can I get someone to read the next two that are on the list? Abby, Kathy. Abby first.
Explore local business expansion. Participants were interested in creating new business opportunities in town, such as, is this what you just read, Michael? No. Okay. In town, such as a coffee shop, a cafe, a local farmer's market, or creating community office spaces. A group could form to survey community members on what businesses they would like to see, find ways to attract those kinds of businesses, and look into other economic development opportunities for Windham. Create a community skill exchange. CUNY members identified skills to share and learn between all ages. Some of the skills mentioned included gardening, farming, music, canning, basic woodworking, home repairs and weatherization, and preparing for different seasons. A group could form to connect elders and youth through hands-on learning, mentorship, and storytelling. They could also explore creating a makerspace and offering weekend or evening workshops. People were also excited about the idea of a town fair or homemaker exchange, where residents could show and teach skills like winter preparation, gardening, or cooking.
Thank you so much. We've got, Kathy can read the next two, which is Revitalize Community.
Actually, my next one is expand outdoor.
Yes, expand outdoor recreation, thanks. You gotta be a bit closer to the mic. You have to be, they're very, you have to be close.
Expand outdoor recreation access. Participants mentioned many outdoor recreation assets and opportunities in Windham. A group could form around identifying and developing key locations for recreation activities, such as the school grounds or other spaces in town. Ideas mentioned included community gardens, outdoor swimming areas, trails, recreational fields, playgrounds, and more. Revitalize community facilities and infrastructure. A group could form to reimagine and revitalize buildings that need restoration, rehabilitation, and repurposing in order to meet the needs of the community. These buildings include the town office, meeting house, town shed, and town garage. Additionally, this group could look into improving infrastructure such as event parking, accessible pathways to buildings and other public spaces, and investigate the potential for a community pavilion or additional gathering spaces in key areas of town.
Thank you. I think we've got expand housing opportunities next. Who would like to read the next two? Oh, thank you. Over here.
Expanding housing opportunities. Housing concerns were raised by many, especially around high costs, property taxes, short-term rentals, and the need to protect the natural character of the town. A group could form to explore creative solutions that serve Windham residents. Ideas include building new housing developments such as tiny homes, updating zoning laws, limiting the number of Airbnbs, reviewing property tax structures, expanding the Citizens Advisory Council, and creating accessible housing for seniors or others who are isolated or need more support to live comfortably in town. Can you read the next one?
Yeah, thank you very much, Pat.
The next one is increase green energy solutions. A committee could form to expand access to low carbon or zero emission energy sources for residents. Ideas were shared such as high-speed electric vehicle chargers, community solar panels or wind turbines, and others, likely in partnership with the Energy Committee. The group could coordinate with partners at the regional and state level and bring power companies, car dealers, and other area businesses together to explore how to make these ideas work in Windham.
Thank you so much. Just got a few more up here. Who would like to read the next two? Back here. Susan?
Support Old Talc Mine site redevelopment. The town of Windham is in the process. The town of Windham is in the process of purchasing 70 acres of land at the Old Talc Mine. The group could explore the creative reuse of the Talc Mine site, potentially for a swimming area, solar array, affordable housing, a new town garage, or space to host community events. Improve community communications and outreach. Community members identified current and past communication practices and could be expanded or improved. A task force could explore how to revamp news and notes with action items, volunteer opportunities, and celebration of community stories. Develop a Windham community welcome packet and local business resource list, and share youth and other activities and achievements
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Just got a few more.
You don't have to agree with it to read
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to agree with it. You just have to read it. Then we've got someone over here next, Jessica, on this side next.
Is that good?
Am I okay?
Yep.
All right, improve road safety. Participants praised the Windham's road crew for high-quality work, but noted some concerns with speeding and road safety. A committee could be formed to explore and implement traffic calming and road safety actions like increasing the number of road signs, building speed barriers in the road, increasing police presence, addressing adding crosswalks and more. This group could also explore how to get more resources for the road crew, such as a new salt shed and new town garage. Increase civic engagement and transparency. A committee could form to bolster responsible town governance and civic engagement. The group could promote inclusive participation in community-led initiatives, research and recommend processes for enhanced communication and transparency, and encourage civic responsibility and accountability in all town functions.
Thank you. And then over here.
Create a recreation center. Participants mentioned the need for indoor recreation facilities for sports such as basketball, recreational programs, and possibly an indoor pool. A group would form to explore what the community needs and desires for indoor recreation and explore which buildings in town might be adapted or used for those recreational activities. Expand food access. Community members were interested in food-centered events like pizza nights, expanding a community cupboard, creating a farmer's market, and hosting cooking events. A group could partner with gardeners, farmers, and organizations like the UVM Master Gardeners to offer garden tours, seed swaps, skill-sharing events, and events around farming animals and land stewardship.
Thank you so much. We've got two more ideas to review. Who'd like to read? Oh, Kate, right here.
Increase elder and caregiver support. Residents identified challenges and opportunities around aging in Windham. A committee could form to develop services and programs that support seniors, caregivers, and inclusive aging in place. Ideas to explore include designing social and wellness programs for at-risk seniors and family caregivers, creating multi-generational engagement opportunities to combat isolation, and providing access to local services such as occupational therapy or speech therapy through satellite offices in Windham. Promote sustainable forest and land management. Many Windham residents shared that the natural landscape, forest areas, the dark sky, waterways, and wildlife are significant to the town's identity and overall character. A group could form to revitalize natural areas that have been degraded, restore native wildlife, and address concerns about the health and safety of overused natural sites. The group could also develop a sustainable community woodpile for heating in the winter that community members could use. Many of the sites that people are interested in, such as Hamilton Falls or Glebe Mountain, are either on state or federal lands, so this group would need to coordinate with those entities.
Thank you so much. Okay, and with that, I'm going to pass it off to Jessica here to take up the next section.
Great, thanks Danny, and thanks everybody for reading. Again, that really helps us all be grounded and oriented to the large amount of things that are under each of these headlines up here, okay? One thing that I did forget to mention earlier, before I ask you if we missed anything or you have any corrections to this list, is that nothing that you decide here tonight replaces any official business of the town, right? This might feel like town meeting, but it's not, right? This is a community meeting. This is where you're all saying what you want to give your energy to, and if what you decide you want to give your energy to involves the municipal government or some other entity, you'd still have to do that, okay? Just wanted to give that little caveat to what we're about to do. So we have a few minutes now to make sure that, again, you know Windham, you know the details listed here. Did we get anything wrong? Like, did we get the acreage wrong, the name of a place wrong? Sometimes we do that, so we want to make sure if there's any mistakes or corrections that we note them. And then the other question for you is, What else? Is there like something big that you see missing here that you think should be a headline? Or within the description of something, do you feel like, ooh, if you're gonna do this, you should do that as well? And I just want to name, before you give me all, I see lots of hands and you're excited. You see similar things in these things, don't you? You see like things. You see some same things. That's intentional, and that's okay. For this round of voting, you're thinking about, what did we miss? What do we want to add? We're not thinking about switching things around yet, okay? Does that make sense? So, what did we miss? What do you want to add? Any mistakes or corrections? Danny, I saw your hand first in the white tank top, and then over here in the teal blue shirt.
Hi, my name's Sally Newton, and I'm actually not a voter in the town of Windham. I live in West Townsend, but I've been a member of this community since I was 3 years old. I went to school, the Windham School, and I taught there for 24 years, and I was encouraged to come tonight. So I won't be voting, but I will share just something that I sort of noticed was left out, and that was a focus on things that would support families and children. There's a lot about increased elder and caregiver support, which I think is a wonderful idea, but I think, and there are a lot of things in some of these that were in some of these topics, headings, that obviously were, playgrounds and recreation, but it seems like things like childcare, which is a very difficult issue for parents, and I think encouraging things that will encourage young people to come to this town. So we've already lost our elementary school, so the idea of having other things that would support the children and the families, I think would be really important.
Yep. So I think you're right. I think that is something we could add as a headline up here. Well, you say there are lots of things that would make that happen. You're saying a specific focus. A committee could form to really focus on childcare, attracting and supporting young families, something along those lines. Okay, so maybe the headline, I think the last thing you said could work, and Alyssa's going to write this for us, is support for families and children. Do folks feel good with that? Yeah, and I'm checking with Danny. Does that feel like a distinct enough idea that we would add it?
I think it is very directly focused on those things, which is different than, say, expand community activities and events, which is where a lot of that same kind of information was present.
Yeah, yeah. So support for families and children. Thanks, Alyssa. Great. Any other big headlines that you think are missing, or details within these ideas that we didn't get right? Over here in the teal shirt.
Hi, I'm Kathy Scott. I'm going to echo Sally. Real close, okay. The one thing that I noted on the vision paper at the bottom was a specific reference to an effort to structure something or some things to attract young families with children. I think it's absolutely critical for our, since this is about the future, I probably won't be here when that happens, but I'd like to see that be a real strong emphasis.
Sure. Do you think we could include that attracting young families to the support for families and children headline that Sally just offered? Would we want to make sure that people knew, if you're voting for this, you want to talk about this more for this first round of voting, it would include attracting and supporting families?
It could. What caught my eye was increased elder and caregiver support, which quite frankly I'm deeply involved in right now.
Sure.
I would like to see something as specific as increased support for young families and children, and encourage young families and children.
Great. Well, I think that's pretty much what Sally said, so I think we're hearing yes, that's a big idea. We should make sure it also includes attracting and supporting young families. Okay? Over here we've got the coral shirt and then the white shirt. Is that coral? I think of that as coral.
Looks coral.
It's a nice pink.
Good evening, I'm Mary McCoy, known as Mac, And I see on here revitalize community facilities and infrastructure. And I'm the select board clerk, so I know the select board is already in motion acting on this, creating 3 new committees in town that basically will do this. Am I right, Michael?
Yeah, the short story long is we are actively looking to create 3 separate committees that actually are looking at and potentially tackling a number of these ideas. So I could potentially see perhaps a task force, maybe even just sort of morphing into the new committee to oversee the project as well.
Yep. So what we always say is there are likely many activities already underway in Windham, people involved caring about these topics. The question we want to ask ourselves is, would you benefit from additional community leadership and volunteers, more people contributing to that work? And if so, great. I think right now it's about like anything that we got wrong, corrections, or is missing. Again, there are, in a lot of these activities already underway, groups that are heavily involved. Anything to add, Danny?
Yeah, I just wanted to just re-emphasize the fact that this is not a town process here. This is a community-led process. And so the things that are discussed and voted upon here will be community-led on the task force. It's separate from the town. I realize you're talking about like additional committees being made by the town, but what we do here can always be in coordination with that, but it's community-led.
Sure. And we see that a lot with a task force that really makes sense to either be directly tied to, authorized by the town, or separate. Communities know what works for them for the things that they prioritize, and we're here to help you think about that. What's the right structure here? This can't be done without the involvement of the select board, but there's a bunch of community energy and volunteerism ready to help. And so that question gets worked out as you form the action plans for these task forces. So we've got just 3 more minutes before we do our first round of voting, and we have this person over here in the white who had her hand up. Did you have any mistakes, corrections, or additional ideas you wanted to offer?
My name is Becky Phillips. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend the first meeting. But I was just looking at the expand community activities and events, and there's no mention of the Windham Community Organization.
So we'll make a note that that includes the Windham Community Organization's current work. They're already working on those things? Yep. Yep. Great. And could you use more volunteers to help what you do? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, good. All right, we could take 1 or 2 more. Anyone else who wasn't here want to offer any ideas? Or even if you were, you're like, this is missing. I want to make sure it's on the wall. And I just want to say, if you're here tonight and you care about Windham, and especially if you're willing to sign up for a task force, and you might not live in the town, that's okay. You can vote tonight. This is not a binding resolution of the town. These are dots that we're going to give you to put on the wall, and we care about anybody who cares to show up tonight's opinion. So, anything missing? If not, I'm going to explain the voting process, okay? So again, what you're voting on right now is the 8 things that you want to talk about more, that you want to hear people champion, discuss, debate what's most important, what's most actionable for Windham right now to take on. None of these ideas are lost. All 17, now you have 17 ideas to vote on, will be included in your final report. But the idea is, I really want to hear more about these ideas, these 8 ideas. So you're going to get 8 dots. There are blue dots that Denise has and Alyssa has, and they're going to start passing them out any second now. And we're going to, in a minute, invite you to put those 8 dots wherever you want. So you could put those 8 dots on one thing. You can put 1 dot on 8 things. You can do whatever you want, except you can't trade dots with anybody else. You can't take anybody else's dots. No dot trading. Oh, Abby. Okay, so it's a little bit of a funky setup here. So there are a couple of steps. We're going to unplug this thing in a minute, so no one trips on the cord. And we ask you to just watch out for each other, watch out for the risers and the steps and everything. And if you have any challenges with getting up here and you want to just mark where you want your dots to be on the paper that you have, the ideas and opportunities page. Just raise your hand and one of the staff will put your dots up for you. If you're like, I can't go up here. And please mark up those those ideas and opportunities. You can take a minute before you vote to kind of see, these are the 8 ideas I really want to talk more about. Make sure the one that you're ready to champion and lean in on is part of the conversation after this first round of voting. So before I call you up, I'm just going to explain what's going to happen. Just keep looking at your ideas, thinking about what you want to vote on. So what's going to happen is you're going to have about 5 minutes to put your dots up here. We'll let you know when voting has closed. Then you're going to see us scuttle like little squirrels. We move really fast. And we take all these papers down. We're going to bring them downstairs to count all these dots and whittle it down to the top 8. You are welcome to observe, just like in a regular poll, but you can't talk to us because we're doing math in our heads and you just can't distract us, but you're welcome to observe. And if you want to talk more about this process, at the end of the night, you're welcome to. Okay? But not during the voting. And we're going to be downstairs doing that. I see someone just joined us. We're getting ready to vote on the top 8 ideas that we would like to talk more about later. Again, we're going from 8 ideas down to the 2 big ones. Does everyone feel ready to start the voting process and have your dots?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Let's see the human psychology of Windham while you vote for these ideas that you want to talk more about. You have about 5 minutes to do this, and I'm going to unplug this thing.
All right, folks, you've got about 2 more minutes to vote. Don't rush too fast. Let's all be safe, but let's make sure we're voting in the next 2 minutes. folks, just like another 30 seconds, about to wrap up. If you haven't voted, do so quickly.
Okay. One more person. Please vote. That's okay. You're welcome to vote. Does anybody else need to vote? Have some stickers? So we'll let this person vote. We won't look at her too closely, so she doesn't feel observed. But we're going to take all these sheets of paper down. We're going to take the back staircase just for ease of movement and do our voting downstairs, and then we'll come back up with the top 8. Okay? Feel free to grab more pizza, drinks, but don't go anywhere because the exciting part starts after this one.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Thank you, Denise. Great, wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. I hope that was kind of fun and exciting. We were less stressed out than usual. The counting downstairs is much cooler down there. It's the Vanna White moment, the reveal. So I'd love to invite you to take out your ideas and opportunities sheet so that you can follow along. We've put these in order of how they appear on the sheet, not in order of how people voted for them, because that doesn't matter. This is just a gut check vote where you are saying, I want to talk more about this. I want to learn more about this from somebody who really wants to champion this idea. Okay, so I'll read the headlines, and we all know after the community reading what these ideas entail. So you all want to talk more about, you can't really see me, but I'm over here, I promise. Expand community activities and events, so you can mark that off on your sheet as one of the ideas. Reimagine the school building. Create a community skill exchange. Expand housing opportunities. Support Old Talc Mine site redevelopment. Create a recreation center. Increase elder and caregiver support. And the idea that we added, based in some advice from folks in the room, was attract and support for families and children. Also got enough votes to be on the top 8. Okay, so that's what we're going to spend some time on now, are these 8 ideas. And I just want you to keep in mind that for this round, instead of it being what you want to talk about more, it's really about what is most important right now for Windham to take on? What do you think is most actionable, most relevant, and most important for you to do as a community right now, given what you know about your community? This round is about hearing from you. You get to champion these ideas. You get to tell us what you think is most important. What are you for, right? So unlike in town meeting where you might be like, I'm against this thing. This is what are you for? What do you want to contribute to? What do you want to see happen in your community? When you look at all those points of vision that you said, yeah, these make sense to me. If we did this thing, we would have that vision happen in our community in 20 or 30 years. Okay, so you get what you're doing for this round? Danny, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we've got, I'm going to check my time here. We've got until 6:40, so we've got about 30-ish minutes for a good, robust local democratic engagement. Okay, so don't be shy. Stand up and tell us what your friends and neighbors should vote for, what's most important and actionable for Windham to take on right now. And Danny's going to bring a microphone to you so we can all hear you. Oh, I see a hand raised right over there. Go ahead. Thank you, Danny.
I really value efficiency, and so I see an idea if we talk about reimagining the school building, we can expand community events, we can attract families and children with support, and we can create, thank you. There's a recreation component. It seems very efficient. So I wanted to open with that. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. So you think we should all vote for that idea because it would do a lot of these other things? Yeah, thanks. Others? You want to champion an idea? I see in the green shirt over here and then over here to Kathy.
Okay. Well, we're already using this school one day a week, 3 or 4 afternoons. We're so thankful for everyone to allow us to be there. And yesterday we had 14 people come to our historical society. And we actually have to, it's time to go home now. You know, it gets to be 4 o'clock and people want to stay.
Sure.
And I said, oh, we're too busy, but they still want to come. And I think that if we could put our heads together with neighborhood connections and perhaps have one day as a senior activity, maybe a meal. We could do crafts in the morning and meet in the afternoon.
So are you also saying reimagine the school building would really
Yes.
do all those things?
Yes.
Yeah.
We could check blood
Wonderful.
pressures, we could do all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Oh, thanks, Alyssa. Great, thank you. And over here, Kathy had her hand up. Thanks, Danny. You're gonna get your steps in.
So I think one thing I'm going to advocate for the skill exchange. And the reason I'm going to advocate for that is that for both the school building and the talc mine, we will not have our analyses done until next summer. So we will still be under contamination review for both of those places, which does give a big arc of a year to plan. But I think it would be fabulous to do something that we could see immediately that isn't tied to what we're allowed to do on either of those places after the analyses. And what a better way to see the talents that each of the people that live in this town have and are ready to share, from fixing something to learning how to knit, to bringing kids in to learn how to read a map or whatever. So I would love us to see doing this, because we could do it now, and I think a community skill exchange gives everybody a chance to shine.
Thank you. Others, what do you want to champion? What do you want to see happen in Windham? What's important right now? Abby?
I'm the champion for attract and support for families and children. We recognize here within our community the challenges of passing the torch. If we want the community to thrive in the future, we need to support and encourage the children and the families to stick around and want to be a part of the community. So that's a big one for me. Thanks.
Thanks. Other ideas you want to champion up here in the teal? And if you want to say your name, I'll try to remember it.
I'm another Kathy.
Oh, hi, Kathy.
Attraction and support for families and children, to me, is probably the most important, and would then morph into so many of the other things up there. And the first step is to come up with a plan of how to do that. And then into recreation centers, reimagining the school. What about the talc mine? How can any of those be part of that support?
Great, thank you. You guys are really getting the assignment. What do you think you should start with? That's great, I really appreciate that. Other ideas you want to champion that's important to address right now? Or you can add to what others have said. Up here in the white, and again, if you say your name, I'll try to remember. Thanks, Danny.
My name is Becky. Expanding housing opportunities is very important, because if you don't have a place for families to live, then you're kind of stuck.
Sure. Okay.
So I think that's important, and I think, reimagining the school building too, is how it fits into those other activities.
Okay. Thanks. Betty?
Becky.
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 Becky. Yeah. Yep, right here in this direction.
Yeah, I also think the housing opportunities one is something that we need to begin some work on. It's not something that's going to be apparent immediately what should be done, but looking widely and trying to look for opportunities that might in fact help us, I think would be a good thing. I also think the same about the recreation center. I think this is a long-term thing. This is not something we're going to have done in a year or two. But I think having an indoor recreation space would be a great way to attract young families, elders, and I think if it's something we're really interested in, it's going to take time to plan. And so I would I think it's not something that we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be more planning, but the planning stage is longer.
Great, thank you. And what's your name?
Pat.
Pat. Hi, Pat. And I see someone just walked in. We're discussing, we just did one round of voting, and we're getting down to the 8 ideas that people want to champion, things that you're for, that you think Windham should do right now in order to achieve your vision for the future for your community. So you're welcome to join right in. You can vote in the next round. All comers welcome. So, anyone else think there's something important that they want to make sure that people think about? Right here, next to you, Danny. Thanks.
Hi everybody, I'm Al, and I'll admit the recreation center is a personal interest to me because now those of us who are doing recreation have to go to Springfield to get a recreation center, and it's take a long time to get something here in Windham. But something that could happen right away would be to expand community activities and events. And as a musician, I would like to have the opportunity to perform more here and hear more musical events. And we have game day activities here, and that kind of thing does bring people together. And so I think that's something that could happen right away rather than long-term planning.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Al. Others? No, over here. You want to go to Michael, and then we'll go back to you. Thanks. Welcome. For those just joining, we're championing ideas that we think are most important for people to do right now in Windham.
Although I do support reimagining the school building and looking at how we can develop the mine site, I think those are two concepts that we could pull aside. And the other thing that I would think about would be to start linking some of the ideas with the other, like expanding community activities. Clearly, you could shoehorn community skill exchange quite easily. You could maybe not create the recreation center, but you could bring the idea of an expansion of the recreation capacity of the community into that. So I guess if you had to pick one, or if I had to pick one, I would probably teeter on, well actually I'd pick top 3. It would be expanding community activities and events. That would be sort of number 1. That would also help support attracting and support for families and children, and also elder and caregiver support would also sort of fit into that picture as well.
Okay. So I'm hearing you name that things go together, but you're not proposing to combine them. You're just saying.
Well, I would if I can.
Yeah.
Can we?
So, you can, which is why I want to, we have a bias against it. I'm just going to start by saying that at the beginning and the end. We don't think you should, but we have a process if you think you should, okay? So, like we said, we chose these ideas on purpose to be actionable by a group of people. We tried to be really clear about what a group could take on that wasn't overwhelming for that group. As a reminder, we're asked to facilitate a process that helps you get down to actionable things that would help you answer the question, what's possible in Windham, right? So these were all purposefully designed, and there are some like things in them, right? Just want to say that. But if you want to combine, what we would do is we would ask for a formal motion. It's the only formal thing we do in this process, from Michael to combine whatever he thought we should combine. We only combine 2 ideas. You can't combine 3. 2 max, too much for 3. You'd say which ideas you were proposing to combine. We would then read those ideas completely, so you understood. You were saying a task force is doing all this stuff, and then we would look for an overwhelming show of hands from the room that at the majority of the room thinks, yes, we should combine those 2 ideas. Does that sound like you guys understand what the combining process is? Okay, Michael, would you like to make a formal motion?
I'd like to make a motion to combine, create a community skill exchange with expand community activities and events. Okay, so we're going to read those 2 things aloud because what you're voting on is combining these 2 things. I'm going to read them, I think, if you give me a list. Thank you. All right, so Michael is proposing to combine expand community activities and events
Residents expressed interest in holding more community events to connect with one another. A group could form to support existing events and create new ones, such as Windham Community Day or Windham Fair, sports and recreation activities, concerts, music lessons, winter activities like a lighted tractor parade, potlucks, art shows and lessons, movie nights, holiday events, dances, farmers markets, and more. And you made sure, Becky, that we included say the name of the group again? The Windham Community Organization would be part of this action. And you're proposing to combine that with create a community skill exchange. Participants were interested in creating new business, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Create a community skill exchange. Community members identified skills to share and learn between all ages. Some of the skills mentioned included gardening, farming, music, canning, basic woodworking, home repairs and weatherization, and preparing for different seasons. A group could form to connect elders and youth through hands-on learning, mentorship, and storytelling. They could also explore creating a makerspace and offering weekend or evening workshops. People were also excited about the idea of a town fair or homemaker exchange where residents could show and teach skills like winter preparation, gardening, or cooking. So Michael's proposal is to combine those two ideas, so a task force would take on all that stuff, okay? So if you think that we should combine, expand community activities and events, and create community skill exchange, please raise your hand. Okay, and if you think that we shouldn't combine those two things, please raise your hand. That's an overwhelming majority. So we're combining these two ideas together. Now, given how tight of a time frame we have tonight, I'm only going to allow this to happen so many times before I say, hey, you guys gotta just pick something, right? So, if I don't want a ton more proposals for combining is what I'm trying to say, okay? I see two hands. Are you feeling ready to champion another idea or something that you think is important for people to think about? Yeah? I saw your hand first and say, in the coral, in the pink. Mac. Great.
I'd like to suggest combining Reimagine the School Building with Create a Recreational Center.
Okay. Okay, so are you making a formal proposal to do that? No. Okay, I think, do you want to say what you want to say now too? Do you think it's relevant to this, or should I wait and call on you separately? Okay, are you proposing to combine something with something else? Okay, so now that you've seen that you can do this, are you feeling excited about it? This happens, this happens. I just want to name that you can't give a group of humans too much to do. They will be overwhelmed, and they will be right back where you started at the beginning of this process on June 17th, being like, what do we prioritize? What do we start with? You should start somewhere, okay? But I understand you know what's best. You know what you're gonna sign up for, Mac, and do. And if you feel like you would sign up for and be part of the combination that you're proposing, then I'm open to it. But I'm going to say that we're not going to keep doing this after 2 more proposals because we have to have time to vote, okay? Do we feel okay with that as a room? I'm not trying to give preferential treatment to anybody who's raising their hand for combining. I'm simply using many years of experience and say, trust me, don't keep combining forever because you don't get anywhere. Does that make sense to you? Okay, thank you. And I know I'm trying to be like a forceful but kind facilitator. Did you have a question about what we're doing before I allow the floor motion? Behind you. No. Okay. The comment on the motion. Okay, well how about I'll open it for discussion in a minute. So we're going to do our process. So, Mac, are you making a formal proposal to combine Reimagine the School Building with Create a Recreation Center? Okay, so I'm going to read those 2 ideas together so we all know what we're saying a group could do. Reimagine the school building. A group could work with the select board to explore what the next phase of the school building looks like. Some of the many ideas include a coffee shop, after-school or educational programs, and community events such as lectures, performances, and other programs. This group could look into the feasibility of renovating and maintaining the building to bring in businesses, programs, events, and other ways for it to serve as a community space. And this group would create a recreation center. Participants mentioned the need for indoor recreation facilities for sports such as basketball, recreational programs, and possibly an indoor pool. A group could form to explore what the community needs and desires are for indoor recreation and explore which buildings in town might be adapted or used for those recreation activities. So that's our motion to combine those two things. Mac, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to clarify.
Wait for the microphone because we really can't hear you otherwise.
I just like to clarify, in my mind, imagining the school building does not mean recreation only. I'm using that word broadly so that it can include a coffee shop, or it could include skill building activities or anything like that, that we wanted it to be. It could be a place to do elder care or anything, but it would also include the recreation center.
Okay, so that's what your proposal includes. Did you have a clarifying question or comment about this combination proposal in the red shirt there? Yes, you. It's maroon, sorry. I'm not colorblind.
I'm glad that Matt clarified that, because I think of a recreational center as, basketball courts, whatever, huge thing. But modifying it, I guess I still see, it's a small building in some ways. And you can do a lot with it. And parts of it can be used for, sport recreation. But I see the two things as separate.
Sure.
I mean,
Okay.
maybe they work together.
Sure, okay. So what I'm hearing you say is you know how you're going to vote when I call this question, and that's okay, right? So unless we have any, I have a burning question about what we're doing, I'm going to call the vote. Otherwise, we're going to lose all the time we have for the voting. Abby, do you have to say this about this combination? Okay, Abby feels she has to say something about this combination.
If we were to merge any two, I would say that reimagine the school building and attract support for families and children would be a better match, because the recreation center could be at that building, or could also be potentially at the town hall.
Okay.
So there's another place that
So-
could fit.
So what we're going to do is we're going to vote on the proposal on the floor now, and then if you would like to formally make a motion, depending on the outcome of this vote, on something around that, I might entertain it, but I am not going to do it more than one more time, because we just can't. I promise you, you'll be like, oh man, this is too, what do we do? We had this recently happen with a community that kept combining, and it was, now the committee is like, oh, where do we start? So that's what I'm trying to caution you against, not because I'm trying to tell you what to do in any way, okay? Okay, so let's vote on this motion to reimagine the school building and create a recreation center. If you think those two ideas belong together in one committee, please raise your hand. Okay, if you think they don't belong together, please raise your hand. All right, that's not an overwhelming majority to me, that's about half the room, so we're not going to do that combination. Sorry. All right, other people want to champion an idea. What are you for? What should we start with? What's something that could happen right now? And you have an idea back there. Kathy. I remembered your name.
I would like to see us combine, expand housing, increase elder care, and attract families, because I think those three things belong together.
Okay. Kathy, I'm not going to let you combine three things. I'm just not going to do that to a committee. I'm sorry. What two things would you like to propose to combine, if any?
Increase elder and attract and support families, because if that happens, you have to do the others.
Increase elder support and attract and support for families are the two she's suggesting.
Okay.
7 and 8.
Okay.
7 and 8 require, at the end of the day, number 3, I guess it is.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do this process that we've been doing. I'm gonna read. I can only read one because the second one we don't have as much detail on, but I'm gonna fill in what I heard from people when they proposed this idea. So increase elder and caregiver support Residents identified challenges and opportunities around aging in Windham. A committee could form to develop services and programs that support seniors, caregivers, and inclusive aging in place. Ideas to explore include designing social and wellness programs for at-risk seniors and family caregivers, creating multi-generational engagement opportunities to combat isolation, and providing access to local services such as occupational therapy or speech therapy through satellite offices in Windham. And you're proposing to combine that with attract and support for families and children. That included bringing new families to town, thinking about childcare for those families, and creating opportunities for those families to engage with one another and also be supported as they navigate familyhood. Does that sound right for that action idea? Okay, I didn't miss anything that people said. All right, so if you think that those two things belong together, I'd invite you to raise your hand now. Okay, that is not an overwhelming majority, so the motion does not stand. I'm sorry. I always feel bad, even though I'm telling you not to do this, when your motion doesn't pass, I feel bad. That is some strange psychology as a facilitator, I'm telling you. Okay, so, anyone else want to champion ideas? I want to hear what you're for, and say, please don't offer combining anymore, unless you really, really have to. Okay, we've got literally 5 more minutes for this conversation. Abby, and was there another hand over here? If you haven't said anything, please do. We'll be kind and gentle, I promise.
So sorry, Jessica, but I am in a motion to attract support for families and children and reimagine the school building. And reason being is the building currently is established, the only thing in the community that's designed for kids. So for a task force, if it was to be selected, and both those components were involved, it's less of a heavy lift because a lot of the components for families and children already exist in the building. So that's all.
Okay. All right, so your proposal, Danny, is to combine reimagine the school building with attract and support for families and children. Okay. We just read the reimagine the school building idea. Does everybody have it in their brains? So I don't have to reread this one. I'm going to shorten this process. So, if you think that those two ideas belong together in one committee taking all that work on, please raise your hand. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry, Abby, sorry. All right. Who hasn't said something? I'm going to hold a quiet moment. If you're over here being like, I haven't heard somebody say that this thing's important, and I know it would be really cool if we did this. I really want to hear from you. Okay. I can be quiet for a minute more, but that's okay. Yeah. If nobody knew, I'll ask again. So just sometimes it's hard to speak up in front of a crowd, but this is a friendly crowd. So, all right. If you have spoken, it's okay now. If you still have an idea you want to champion, Kate, is it? Yeah.
As I'm looking at the list, I'm getting really excited about the expanding housing opportunities. I'm going to cite my value of efficiency. I'm sorry to be excited about it, but I think that's, Kathy made a very good point about the other one that I brought up. I think that might be one that I'm not going to combine. So I made that very clear. I'm not asking to combine it. I'm just saying I think it encompasses other desires of the community.
Right. And Kate, remind us of the other one you thought was efficient.
The school building.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Anyone else want to champion before we move into the exciting part of the evening where you get 2 dots? That's a lot of pressure on those 2 dots, right? Kathy, you want to say something?
I want to reiterate what Kate said too, and what I think it was Pat McLean about housing, that we have to start thinking maybe outside the box, maybe looking at some unusual opportunities, but we will be facing this, and why not start on it now?
And right next to Kathy, and then the woman in orange after him.
My name's Hunt. Given that I was 38 years I was a coach, create a recreational center, I think it's more long-term at this point, but there are some things that can be done immediately. So, I'm not asking, I'm just advocating for that. I think there's immediate priorities up there.
Thank you. And the person in orange behind you, yeah.
So I don't have any comments, I'll do that through my vote. I have a question though. The old Talcs mine salt, is that the pond that's been okay. Want to make sure I do.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you have any questions about something in one of these ideas, please let us know. What did you say, Michael? I'm sorry. Nothing. Okay. All right. Any last? I can take one or two more ideas that you really want to champion for the community before we move into our voting. And if not, that's okay. You'll just get a little more time for ice cream during our transition to the task forces. Are you feeling ready to vote? Yes, awesome. Okay. So Alyssa and Denise are going to come around again. They're going to have a variety of orange colors. They are orange dots. We're trying to be efficient and not waste dots from different sets. You're going to get 2 dots in this round. What you're voting for this time is what you think is most actionable and important for Windham to do right now. None of these ideas, or indeed the 17 ideas, are going to be lost. So whatever lands as these top 2 ideas does not prevent anybody from taking on any of the other ideas that don't make the top 2, right? But what you're voting on, what you're going to use those 2 dots for, and you can use them on 2 ideas or on a single idea, is saying, this is the most actionable thing that Windham could do right now. This is going to get us towards our vision if we start with this. Okay? After this round of voting, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our papers downstairs. You're welcome to witness but not talk to us while we count things. We'll come back upstairs, reveal the top 2, and then we'll talk more about the next part of our meeting. Danny, do you have a question or something to add?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, if there's anyone who hasn't signed the sign-in sheet, I know that some folks have been coming in as we've talked about stuff. I'd love to just pass that to folks.
Great. Thank you, Danny. Did you have something, Denise? Oh, yes. Yes. Ice cream's in the kitchen, so while we do our counting downstairs, we'll let you know and you can avail yourself of treats and things. Does that sound good? Although we're going to wait on the ice cream until the transition to the task forces, but other things are possible. Okay, are we ready to vote? I'm going to unplug this so you don't trip. And then come on up and use those 2 dots as you will.
Thelma.
Yeah, I couldn't get to that.
How you doing, Bill?
Just a few more minutes for voting, so if you haven't made your way up, and if you need help, let us know. We're happy to take your votes and put them up there for you.
Oh, okay, good.
chance to vote, please do that. We're going to wrap it up in about a minute. All right, are we complete? Did we all vote? All right, we're gonna go downstairs and count. Please come back here. If you're gonna wander around, there's cold drinks, there's food, etc. But we need to come back here to see what the top 2 ideas are. lingering downstairs, they come on up. No, I can do this part. Just gotta find my thank yous. All right, are you guys ready for the big reveal? I mean, we kind of did it. You can read them right there. Great. So hopefully some other folks are going to come back from upstairs taking a little break because now it's the exciting part. So what you all voted on was expand housing opportunities and expand community activities and events and create a community skill exchange. So those are the two committees. Yes, round of applause. You did it. You went from 17 big ideas down to the two things that you think are the most actionable for Windham to take on right now. These are your answers to what's possible Windham, along with everything else that you surfaced as well. So what we're going to do now is, I just want to say a few thank yous, because I know at the end of the night people might be like, I'm tired, I need to go home, I understand we're going to get you out of here by 8:30. But I just wanted to thank the select board for inviting us to be part of this process, and for Kathy for instigating it. She's a real instigator. And the planning committee for all the incredible outreach that you've done. I know people worked really, really hard to make sure that this ended up in everybody's mailboxes and inboxes and phone calls. For the dinner, I just want to thank Kathy for helping coordinate the food logistics. Tonight, we want to thank the Family Kitchen and Pizzeria for providing and delivering pizza. That's a luxury we don't usually have. Asked Denise about her post-traumatic pizza fetching disorder from Sunderland last week. The live stream coverage, we want to thank Johnny Gifford and the BCTV team for being here and live streaming this for folks who couldn't attend. For the childcare, thank you to Ruthie and Grace. Ruthie and Grace, I don't know if you can hear us. But they're doing an incredible job in not an ideal space, providing childcare for children, which is great. Transportation, we want to thank the Neighborhood Connections for not only providing free car rides, but also a free shuttle service, so people had plenty of parking options for being able to be here tonight. For the Meeting House, thank you to Maureen and Kathy for providing access to this space and helping prepare the space for the community resource meeting today. And of course our resource team, where you're going to get to know now in a minute a little better, for being here, for witnessing this game show and the combos and all the things that they don't usually see that part of the meeting. So hopefully it was fun and interesting for them. And they're going to be here to support you as you prioritize action ideas under these two headings and into the future. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want you to stick around. We're going to be here for the next hour and a half or so, getting started on the work of these two action committees. So if you would like to sign up for either of these ideas, you're welcome to. We have sign-up sheets, Alyssa, in the back of the room on that table. So you can sign up for, you want to stay informed. You want to know what these groups are up to. You want to know when the next meeting is. You can sign up for one or both of these ideas, right? We hope you stick around after you sign up and then participate in essentially the first meeting of these groups. But we understand that might not be possible, or you might want to go to one tonight, but it's the other one you really want to sign up for. It's your own choice where you want to put your energy. We're also going to put online the ability for people to sign up for these priorities. So tell your friends and neighbors, hey, you missed this meeting, but guess what? We chose some cool stuff that we're going to do, and you should get involved, because I know you're really into housing, and I know you're really into skill exchange. You know how to whittle spoons, and you want to teach people that. So you could tell them that they can go online to your What's Possible Windham website and sign right up for these task forces. The information about the meetings will be continuously posted on that website, as well as however those groups decide to communicate beyond tonight. So that's how you sign up for and get involved with these task forces. Alyssa or Danny, did I miss anything in terms of that process? Great. So you're going to get a little breather, maybe like 5-ish, 10-ish minutes to get some ice cream in the kitchen, right, Kathy? Left over from the ice cream social. And then please join one of these task force meeting. So we're going to have expand housing opportunities downstairs. Danny's going to be your facilitator. She's prepping the room right now. And then upstairs, we're going to have expand community activities and events and create a community skill exchange with Denise, who's going to facilitate up here. Whatever you choose, I just want to say that you have done something incredible here that really works. I promise you that if you give energy to these two big ideas, we will be here to support you. The state is paying attention to what Windham is doing and prioritizing right now. Your Regional Planning Commission, your Regional Development Corporation, they're here to support you, and we're here to help you navigate what comes next. And I know that you've come up with a really cool answer to the question, what's possible Windham? So thank you again, and please take a little break and then join the first meeting of these task forces. Hold on. Can you hear me? So the locations are housing downstairs, community activities, events, and skill exchange upstairs. Okay?